That's a good fish right there, yeah. Oh, Lord, Landon. Welcome back, y'all. So today we're going to build some bank fishing rod holders, and then we're going to take them to the river and try to catch some big trophy blue catfish. So stay tuned, it's going to be a good time. So I've got a few extra monster rod holders laying around that I'm not using for anything. These are the Monster 3345 models. So we're going to build us a T-bar today that we can drive down in the ground. It should be really sturdy, and we won't have to worry about a big fish stealing our rod from us. So I just cut this half-inch plate out and got it cleaned up. Now this might be a little bit overkill, but I really don't want this to bend. This is the part we'll be hitting with a sledgehammer or something if we need to get it in the ground. This is going to be our base. This is what our stakes are going to weld to. And then our upright piece will be on the other side, the part that our rod holder is attached to. And then I got a pile of scrap metal over here to choose from. We're just going to kind of build it as we go and see what we come up with. This should be a fun little project. I enjoy doing things like this, so we'll see what happens. So I've got everything cut to length and cleaned up. We've got our half-inch plate. I've got 3 pieces of 3/4 by 1/8 inch angle, 12 inches long. And you can see I've got them cut to a point on the end. Those are going to be our stakes. I feel like these will still go in the ground pretty easy, but I think they might hold a little better than just a regular piece of round stock. We've got a piece of 1.5 by 3/16 angle, 24 inches long, and a piece of thin wall square tubing, 12 inches long. And then we're going to need 3 of these stainless steel 1/2 inch nuts. The only thing left to do now, I got to drill 3 1/2 inch holes in here, and then we'll be ready to weld all this stuff together. Hot. So we got those nuts welded on, and we'll just be able to screw our rod holders in, tighten that nut up. There they are. Okay, so I've got everything squared up and tacked. We're ready to weld it out, except for the stakes. I'm going to put those on at the end because that's going to make it really awkward to get it in position to weld it. So we'll weld everything we can, and then we'll put the stakes on the bottom, and we'll put a coat of paint on it, and it'll be ready for some rod holders.
Well, how's your dad doing?
All right, so there's the finished product. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I think if we can get it in the ground, it'll be really solid. But it's a beautiful day, so we're gonna head to the river and see if we can try this thing out today. So So we have made it to the river, and the water's up a lot more than I thought it was. There's not a whole lot of bank access here. As you can tell by the trees, it looks like the water's up probably 15 foot or more. I'm not really sure how we're gonna land a fish if we catch one, but we'll worry about that when it happens. But it's extremely muddy. I don't think we'll have any problems getting our rod holders in the ground here. It's solid as a rock even in that mud. I don't think we got anything to worry about there. So for bait today, we've got some frozen skipjack, and it's still pretty frozen as you guys can tell, but I think I can probably cut it here. The problem is, in the wintertime, if you don't lay your bait out the night before, it never thaws out. A lot of people ask me why I cut those gut pockets off, and on fresh bait, I normally just leave the guts in it. But on frozen bait, the guts are normally the first thing that start to rot, so I normally just get rid of it on frozen bait. Probably doesn't really make much of a difference, just kind of a personal preference thing. And a lot of times the guts just fall out anyway as soon as you cast, so I normally just get rid of them on the frozen bait. So we're just gonna fish 3 rods today. And the rig that we're gonna use is a 3-way rig. I've got 30-pound mainline monofilament, 60-pound monofilament to my hook, and then I've got a 20-pound dropper to my sinker. And the reason I'm doing that today, I fish here in my boat a lot, and I already know there's a nasty ledge that comes off this bank and drops down to about 40 or 50 foot. Probably more like 60 foot today with the water being up. So we're definitely gonna break some lines today. And this 20-pound dropper, if the sinker gets hung up, I should be able to break that off instead of losing the whole rig. So that's the theory behind that. We're getting towards the end of January here, so the water temperature is pretty cold. The fish aren't gonna be as active. So we're gonna fish some smaller baits. If they're biting good, we'll throw some bigger baits. Hopefully I can cast without getting hung in a tree here. Yeah, if we catch a fish big enough to pull this out of the ground, then we've done something. I hope we do. So we've got our 3 baits in the water, and we've got some good conditions today. We should catch some fish, but the Ohio River can be mean. When it turns off, it turns off. So hopefully the fish are biting today. But if not, we got a backup plan. So we're just gonna kind of see what happens and go from there. Oh, that's okay. Let's reel down on it. I think we got it. We sat here for probably about 15 or 20 minutes, and we had one go down. So not a very big fish, and I'm gonna be happy with it, whatever it is. We're using our medium action Tangling with Catfish rods today, and they make these smaller fish a lot more fun. But they've still got the power to fight a big fish. Here he comes, there he is, little blue. Not a bad fish. I'll take that all day long. So there he is, guys. First one of the day. Not a giant, but it was still a lot of fun on that medium action rod. We're going to get him back. Hopefully there's more to come. There's no general release fishing in a situation like this. You just got to get them back any way you can. Man, that's some really good fresh skipjack right there. Just because bait's frozen doesn't mean it's no good. But there's a big difference between frozen bait that's been taken care of well and some old bait that's set out for 2 days before it went in the freezer. The faster you can get it in the freezer, the better the bait will be. Look, Brandley, there's a barge. You said you wanted to see one.
Ooh, it's big.
Yeah. So I'm actually enjoying this quite a bit, just sitting back, chilling, watching the rods on the bank. This is the way I grew up fishing, as most of us did. A lot of people think you need a boat to catch a big catfish, and that's not true at all. Whether you're on the bank or in a boat, the most important thing is putting your baits in front of fish, choosing the right body of water and the right areas in that body of water. And the best way I know how to do that is right there on your smartphone sitting at home. You can download Google Earth. That's a good tool to use. And also Navionics. I think there's a free version of Navionics that you can download on your smartphone. And it basically shows you the same maps that we use on our fish finders out on the boat. So that's a really useful tool. And I'll kind of explain why we're fishing the spot we're fishing today, just to give you guys an idea of what I kind of look for. We're fishing where a tributary empties into the Ohio River. The Ohio River's way up. It's running probably 3.5, 4 mile an hour. This smaller river's not up very much at all. It's running probably about 3/4 to 1 mile an hour. So that lower current speed's automatically going to put some fish up in here. Another reason we picked this spot is this smaller river runs out of the southeast. The Ohio River runs out of the northeast. So this river in the winter time's always about 5 degrees warmer than the big river. So that brings a lot of bait fish up in here, and the catfish and everything just follow. Those are the little things that you look for to find some fish. All right, so we caught a fish here and we've had a few bites, but it's been about an hour since we caught a fish. So we're gonna move on down the bank. There's another spot down here I think we can fish. If you're not getting the kind of action you want, don't just sit around and wait on the fish. Change something up, whether it's your bait or just moving maybe 20 foot down the bank. You know, always change things up when it's not working. It's about 50 foot right off the bank right here, so it's pretty deep. Yeah, we're cutting these up and using them.
Because only catfish eat
other fish. Yeah, you know about fishing, don't you?
What's that channel? I might watch it when I get home.
It's called Hagen Grubbs Fishing. Here, I got something for you too. That way you can remember what it's called.
How many people did you see every day?
Do what?
How?
Here you go. Y'all can both have one of them.
I think I know where I'm gonna definitely get it. Well, I'm not sure. Grab the bucket.
You want to carry the bucket? All right. It might be heavy. It's got a bunch of lead in it.
Oh. One's right there.
That's a good fish right there, yeah. Oh, Lord, Landon. That didn't take long, did it?
No, actually.
I'll probably fall in the river trying to get him. If we don't...
You know how to swim?
Not when the water's 40 degrees. Y'all have to throw a rope to me. Oh! He is all in that tree, Landon.
No, because Tangling's going stuff.
Why couldn't it have been one of them other rods?
You almost have him.
Let me try to pull him this way, son. Oh, that's good. That's exactly what we needed to happen. He come out of most of it. Got him out of most of it. Oh, it's a pretty nice fish.
That's a bass.
It's a blue catfish. Oh. Ow! All right, y'all, so there he is. All we did, we moved down the bank a little ways. Wasn't 5 minutes this fish bit. Little piece of skipjack. Man, what a great day. That made the trip worth it right there. I'm gonna do my best to get him back in there without falling in myself. What a great fish. Wasn't really expecting that today, but that's why you go fishing. You never know what's gonna happen. He's good shot. So it's been about 30 minutes since we caught that big fish. We had a couple more bites, but no hookups. I think we're gonna go ahead and call it a day. We're running out of daylight, we're hungry, and it's getting cold out here. So that's gonna do it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. The rod holders that we built, they turned out great. They work perfect, and they're also pretty simple to make. Now, if some of you guys don't have access to a welder and you wanna buy something like that online, I'll put a link in the description below on where you can buy something pretty similar. But I wanna thank you guys for watching. God bless you all, and we'll see you in the next one.